Hey there, Flo here. Another coding live stream. This will probably be kind of a short one because I'm going to try to go to church this morning, so I don't have unlimited time. But yeah, we'll see if I can get anything done. That'll be the challenge, to get like anything accomplished. Pretty happy with what happened last stream with being able to fix that scrolling issue, though. That was a good result. It took longer than I thought it would, but for a while there I wasn't sure I'd ever get it, so when it finally snapped into place, that was pretty satisfying. Alright, so let's see. Oops. So there's several things I could work on. One would be to get it to work better with the mouse wheel. It kind of works, but kind of not. And then I want to get it so that I can press right and left on the arrows and it'll snap to columns. Or if I push up and down, I want it to go to next chapter, so I could just sit here with my hand on the arrow keys and, you know, scroll it sideways and to next chapters and stuff. And then also, this is stuff that I had like weeks ago working, and then I, as usual, I did something to screw it up. So I need to reconnect those keystrokes, and then but I think before any of that, what I'm going to work on is getting the audio Bible to scroll right and left. It seems to work fine on the mobile mode, so if I make this look like a phone.
John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Born not of blood, nor of the desire or will of man.
Automatically scrolls on
the Word
phone, but
and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory,
not on the desktop.
The glory of the one and only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth.
Check some here.
John testified concerning him. He cried out, saying, "This
okay,
is
never mind.
He of whom I said,
all right.
He who comes after me has surpassed me, because."
I mean, in theory, it shouldn't be that hard to get the horizontal thing working, but I don't know. Not that confident about it. Let me get, a list of the longest chapters in the Bible. I kind of wanted to show something different than Psalm 119. Like always using that. It's the best chapter to test on because it's, you know, long, but I think there's other kind of long chapters like in Isaiah and somewhere else. I don't know. I think Luke chapter 2 is kind of long. Yeah, I don't know why it does that either. Wonder if I don't think it throws any error as far as I know. It's just, oh, wait. I don't know what that is. Actually, I think that's the error that's making the books not load. There's a lot of things I need to fix. Basically, it's because I'm using this free API that sends me JSON files, and I like it and stuff, but I have less control over when stuff happens. Like if I had just used like a local MySQL database or something, I'd have a lot less syncing issues because I have to do a lot of asynchronous calls to the API, and if I don't do it right, then the data's not there when I'm expecting it. And just I'm trying also to save everything in local storage so that when you come back, it remembers where you were at and stuff like that. And some of that is not being done at quite the right time, and so there's just like some code that needs to be reordered. Essentially, it's all working, but there's weird bugs if you come into it from an unexpected place, I guess. I don't know. If I refresh, it always fixes that, but I want it to work without having to refresh, obviously. So let's see if Luke 2 is kind of long like I thought. Yeah, it's fairly long. So the only real way to oh, what in the world? That's kind of annoying. Okay, so something is not right. I bet if I refresh. Oh, what? Oh, great. Okay, something's changed since last time we were working on this because it's not honoring the columns for some reason. I wonder though, let's see, calculated column positions. Hey, Tom Sawyer Bold. Yeah, I know. I need to shave, honestly. It gets a certain length and I don't really like it. I forgot to turn my little thing so I can hear it when somebody comes in chat. Just a second here. Happy Sunday to you. Where's that screen? It's weird. Where's that? Oh, here it is. Okay. That should do it. All right. Now I can hopefully not miss messages. I think I can't remember if it's noise. I think it's noise that the social stream's not working on. And I've talked to Steve so many times over the years, I feel like I'm a pest, so I don't, I could have told him some days ago that it wasn't working and he would have fixed it by now, but I feel like a pest every time I tell him something's not working. So I often don't, but plus I don't have anybody chatting on noise that I'm aware of. Okay, thanks again for the help with gives, Colin. Without you, never would have happened. He would have figured it out, honestly. He would have probably just either paid for something like he was before, or I don't know, maybe even Discord is better in a way. I like that video ninja thing, but it has some drawbacks, but as long as it's working for him. I think something that he's doing though is kind of bogging down his Mac. Like, even though Macs are supposedly better now than they used to be, I still feel like streaming isn't their strength. Like, I can literally have 50 tabs open, you know, and all that stuff, doesn't do anything to my stream, but it seems like when he has a bunch of tabs open for like the chat windows and stuff, I can totally see a massive lag on the stream when he's using the video thing and whatnot. And that, it might not be a Mac thing totally either. Like I've personally never done the call-ins on my machine, so it might have a similar effect to me. I don't know. What did you just give me, man? Did you just give me a freaking thingamajig? You just gave me a diamond. What are you thinking, man? Thanks, dude. Not necessary, but I appreciate it. But yeah, as long as he's happy with it, it doesn't matter. I'm not too picky. I know he's kind of picky, and I'm actually picky too, but I'm more picky about my own stuff than anybody else's. So anyway, I'm just completely rambling at this point. So yeah, apparently all the success that I thought I had last stream is suddenly disappeared, and I don't really understand why. So maybe I'll just revisit that, because I thought I had this all fixed already. Wonder if there's any... I hope there's not a chance I accidentally uploaded some old code. That would suck if I like overlaid the fixed version or somehow. Let me see if it do a hard refresh. It might take a hard refresh too. It's not working at all now. It's crazy. Doing complete garbage. So weird. I didn't change a thing since the last stream and it was working perfectly. By the way, I don't recommend hanging out, Dale. This is going to be literally the worst possible content for you since you don't like tech and nerdy stuff. So maybe you've already gone, but I'm sure there's more interesting things for you to watch. Okay, this is totally messed up. It's not doing anything like it's supposed to. So, wow, it is terrible. I wonder if it was... Let me go back to Psalm 119. Because it could be, like, connected with the size of the window or something. Like, if it's a really big chapter, it works better. I don't know. Yeah, okay. That's weird. So it works perfectly on Psalm 119. I didn't bother to, like, check anything else. How strange is that? Okay, so what if I go to another chapter now? Maybe I want to take a nap, so this may help. Yeah, that could be. Okay, so it works in Psalms. So I made a perfect code for working in Psalms. Let's try Amos. Okay, I don't know, it just had a random hiccup. Now it's actually working. Let me see. Oh, okay, it's working everywhere now. I hate that kind of stuff where something just stops working and then it works again. I'd rather have it not work so I can troubleshoot it. If it only doesn't work occasionally, then it's going to be really hard for me to track it down. Now it's working 100% flawlessly. Let me check, however, if I can resize this, if it adapts instantly, or if... Yeah, okay, so if I resize it, it wigs out, apparently. That could be the issue, so maybe because I had it in the mobile mode, it was not happy. Did you see where apparently some archaeologists found the biblical Sodom? Yeah, they've been... I mean, that's been going on for a while, unless maybe there's a newer development, but I've watched videos on that from, I don't know, the 1970s or something. But yeah, they'll find everything. I mean, the only things they won't find is if it's completely destroyed, but the Bible is very trustworthy. Like, every time they dig something up, they're finding and confirming the historical accuracy of the Bible. I have no lack of confidence there. Okay, so it's oh, this is weird. Okay, in this one, if I go backwards it works, but if I go forward, it's doing like half columns, it seems. Or not even half columns, it's like sometimes third columns. It's quite strange. Yeah, I don't have any explanation for that. Obviously not correct though, because I think this calculated column positions is supposed to be... Oh, I know what it's doing. I know exactly what it's doing. Okay, I can fix this. I mean, it won't be easy, but... Basically, these are inline objects. They're spans instead of divs, which, I mean, you can make a div, an inline, you can make a span, a block element, but all I'm saying is these are inline elements. So this number 1 actually has a left position all the way on the left of the column, but this number 2, its left position actually starts right here, which is halfway through the column. So I need to figure out how to get the leftmost position, and I don't know how to do that. And that's why it was working perfectly on books like Psalms, because in Psalms, as you can see, every verse starts all the way on the left because it's poetry. And I should have thought of that, but I didn't. So all this time I've been testing in Psalm 119, and every single verse starts over here on the far left, and that's why it was working. So I need to... I think I should be able to fix this, but it's going to take a while. Curious though if that's new. If there's any new developments. Yeah, so like here's an article from 2022, you know. The guy that I like to watch, I don't know if I'll be able to find him. I don't remember his name, and I'm not signed into YouTube. So, maybe he's so... well known that he'll show up. Yeah, this guy. I love this guy. Expedition Bible. I watch this guy a lot. He did a video on Sodom and like the sulfur balls and like this thing here.
The Bible says that there are 5 cities of the plain. 4 were burned and never lived.
So yeah, that. But like a lot of his, he's not necessarily actively discovering things like right now. I think he is, but he's also reviewing some of the, you know, earlier archaeologists from the 20th, 19th, and 20th centuries. He's just a wealth of knowledge, but he actually goes on location, and it's really interesting. I like it. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so now that I know exactly what's happening, I'm just going to ask AI, to be honest. Yeah, my hands are cold. I feel like I can't type as fast as I normally can because it's really cold in here. I never built a fire last night because I have very little wood left. I need to cut some more wood, and so I just kind of toughed it out. It's pretty cold in here, though. Okay, so how am I going to figure this out? This is a little bit challenging because not only can verses not be on the left, they can be not on the left anywhere in their length. So you have like super short verses that are only less than half a line long, so they don't even wrap to the left. I think that's kind of rare, but I know there's one verse that's like Jesus wept. So what is that, like John 14 or something? I want to say it's John 14:6, but let's find out. Nope. John 14:6 is a very good verse, though. I don't remember what Jesus wept. John 11:35. Okay. Not even close. I knew it was in John, but at least I know what's happening. Okay, so in that case, even though it's really short, it's actually on its own line, so it would still work. But I'm pretty sure there's some verses somewhere that are so short that they don't even wrap a line. So that cool thing that I discovered last stream is not always going to work. I need some other way to detect the columns. How can I do that? There has to be a way to do this. Let me see. Maybe I'm going to do all the math myself. Okay. How do I calculate the scroll width of a container that has overflow hidden? I can never remember the JavaScript stuff, so it's it would be scroll width. So let me look at the code. I might have to actually do this all on my own, which I'm not really excited about, but after last stream's experience where I was spending hours just asking AI stuff and it took, that long to get to a conclusion, it's probably not always faster to use AI. But that's all. I mean, it's only going to be equivalent or faster for me to do it if I actually know what the issue is and have a hunch on how to fix it. And I don't always know. I'm not even sure where that code is. I guess it's in here. This is going to really complicate things. Like when I scroll to the stored verse, like when I first load the page, I look into local storage to see what the last scroll position is. I'll have to revisit that code because if I scroll to the verse, it could be doing that weird halfway through the column scroll thing. So really what I need is, I mean, here's a real hack idea. What I could do is add a before, like to every verse, I could do some CSS, add a pseudo before element and make it absolutely positioned, I think, or something like that. And it would push this imaginary box to the left of the verse. And I could probably calculate that way, but I like to avoid hacky solutions if possible when there surely is some other way to do it. But I suppose that would be one way to try to get it to work. But I think there should just be a pure math way to do it, and it shouldn't be that hard. I don't know where that code is, so it should be somewhere in here, but I'm not seeing it. I know what I can do. Let me look and see where this stuff is being made. So it's 98. Let's just refresh. Okay, so 81. Let's look at line 81, see what's going on there. That's way up here. Oh, okay. Okay, let me try giving some background color to this here. Let's see. I'm going to temporarily change the CSS, just it'll look hideous, but I need to have a visualization of this. Try to make it not too hideous. Let's give it a purple background color temporarily. Just a second here. I think something is running. Speaking of choppiness, something is bogging down my computer. I wonder if I have some program open that I don't need to, that's just kind of not doing too well. Maybe OBS is not doing that well right now for some reason. I'm going to close this and see if that helps. I think OBS just has like some kind of memory leak right now. It's just really choppy. It's annoying though, because I can't really do anything other than close OBS and restart the stream. Let me check. Haven't gotten used to like the Linux task manager kind of equivalent. Yeah, it's super choppy. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off and see if it gets smoother. Blah, 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 blah. Maybe the camera is slowing it down? I don't know. Honestly don't know. I don't really need the camera. I don't know if that's making a difference. I'll have to diagnose that between now and the next stream. I might have just been doing something abnormal at the beginning of the stream that didn't get cleared up before I started. I have no idea. Curious though if my audio's messed up because of that, 'cause sometimes that happens. Audio's messed up because of that, 'cause sometimes that happens. Okay, it sounds like my audio's okay. Audio's messed up because of that, 'cause sometimes. Okay, it sounds like my audio's okay. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, that's good. Wish I could get my microphone louder. It's weird, it's actually in the red in OBS, but when I watch my replays it sounds kind of quiet. I don't really know what else I can do. Turn my music up a tad. Okay. I think we're as good as I can be right now. I don't know why that OBS is so choppy, but whatever. I think one of the things I had to do in OBS with Linux is disable some of the hardware acceleration and actually using the X264 encoder instead of like NVENC or whatever. But I think I was actually doing that in Windows too, but it seems to handle it better in Windows because of the drivers and whatnot. But yeah, it's definitely choppy. Like just that mouse moving around is like, I wonder if that's just OBS. So let me check my actual stream output. Yeah, I think it's the stream too. That sucks. I could restart the stream, but then some of the platforms I really don't like it when you do that. So I'll just leave it for now. It's not a big deal. It sucks, but okay. I hate not knowing what the issue is though, because there's like no way to diagnose it. I feel like I'm more confident on Windows. When something goes wrong, I can kind of narrow down the culprit, but Linux, I don't really know what I'm doing. They don't really have a good task manager like Windows does. The Windows task manager is probably the best one on any operating system. It's really detailed and can figure out which process is hanging and doing weird stuff. And Linux, you would think Linux would have a really good solution for that, but the built-in one sucks. And I've downloaded like 3 or 4, and some of them are command line, which is really annoying. I'd rather have a graphical one. And yeah, there's just nothing that great. There might be something great, but I haven't found it. So choppy. All right. So let's see. Oh, I was gonna. I don't remember if I didn't upload that yet. So let me do that. Need to watch the clock too, because I don't want to miss my chance to get to church this week since I'm actually awake. Usually not awake in the morning. I wish more churches had evening gatherings. I don't think my computer is actually slowed down at all. Like everything else I'm doing is snappy. It's just OBS that's gross. Okay, so now that we have that purple background, we can clearly see like where the edges of this stuff is. I'm sort of curious how big that column gap is. It's annoying because everything changes when you like resize the browser. It's different. So you can't really rely on a certain width or anything. And it's proportional sizing too. It's not pixel based, so it's a little bit hard to figure out. I think pretty basic math could figure it out though, because basically I would take the total width and well, let me think, maybe it's not that easy. How would I figure that out? The problem is I don't necessarily know programmatically how many columns are currently showing on the screen. I don't think there's really a JavaScript attribute for that, although it might be it might be, but I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm going to give AI my CSS and tell it we have multiple columns. How do I know the currently calculated column width? It can be different depending on the browser. Windows current width. The column width. I want to see if that actually works. I was doing a lot of trusting in what AI was doing the last couple streams, so I wasn't actually learning much about these JavaScript attributes or properties, whatever. 1388. Alright, just try that. So column width is apparently 352. I want to test that though, so what I'm going to do is take a screenshot. Doesn't look anything like 352, that's for sure. So that that calculation, the JavaScript property or whatever you call it, is not accurate, obviously. Let me just refresh to make sure that's its final answer. 352. I don't know where it's coming up with that number, because it's definitely not based in reality. But that's my problem. Okay, so I'll see if AI has anything to say about that. Wait a minute, let me make sure I might not have the right container too. That's possible. So we got container, and the container is pane 1, which is the correct thing. Yeah, it says column width 352. I wonder if that changes when I... See, that's useless. That doesn't even change when I resize the container. So that's obviously not correct. I'll just tell it that. Okay, so we get the container's width. That makes sense. Get the column gap, but how do you get the column count from that information? Let's see, container width plus column gap. That doesn't make any sense. Divided by 20 times the font size. Oh, because I have 20 EMs. But that, I don't think that would be accurate. Isn't 20 EM just a guideline, though? In my... If the browser is sized to somewhere arbitrarily, between where 2 or 3 columns will fit, the columns will scale up from that 20 EM to a random unknown size. Correct? Absolutely, you are correct. The 20 EM is indeed a guideline for the minimum width of the columns when the browser width falls between the widths that allow for 2 or 3 columns. Column width will adapt accordingly, scaling up or down to fill the available space. To handle this dynamic behavior, you might want to calculate the actual column width based on the element's computed style and dimensions. This function dynamically calculates the column width by taking into account the actual width of the container and the column gap. I'm not confident about that at all, but column count -1. But how does this account for the variable column width that we were just talking about? I see nothing in your code that addresses that variable. You're absolutely right. Yeah, so do something. The variable column width needs to be handled to account for the browser's dynamic sizing. We need to calculate the actual column width at any time rather than just relying on fixed assumptions. Use the total width of the container, subtract the total width of the gaps. Divide the remaining width by the number of columns. That doesn't make sense because you don't know the number of columns. This won't work. Your step 1 and 2 are logical, but in step 3 you say divide by the number of columns. But we cannot ascertain the number of columns accurately if we don't know the exact width of a column based on the browser width. Variable browser width. You're correct. The challenge lies in the variable column width that changes with the browser size. To handle this, we can use the actual rendered layout to determine the number of columns and then calculate their width. Here's how to approach it. Render the content. Allow the content to render within the container. Calculate the number of columns. Use JavaScript to detect the number of columns by measuring the position of the columns. That sounds good, but I don't know how to do that. Calculate the column width. Okay, so we'll see what it says. Calculate the number of columns. Use JavaScript to detect the number of columns by measuring the position of the columns. Okay, so they're doing kind of a hack like I was talking about earlier in the stream, where they're essentially making a temporary fake element that is 100% the width of a given column, and that seems to be the only way to do it. There is no actual JavaScript attribute that stores the current width of a column, which is crazy. So yeah, that might be the only way to achieve it. Call the temp element width gauge. I always forget how to spell gauge. Doesn't look right. It's a weird word. Okay, I was thinking of doing something like this a while ago, measuring by inserting a pseudo invisible element. Seems weird that this is the only way, but I guess we have to do it for accuracy's sake. It should work though, in theory. Let's see if we get any closer to the actual column width. Still laggy. Might as well just turn that off. I think it's OBS. There's probably some memory leak in it. I would just need to restart it, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just... Since I'm mostly just showing me typing stuff, it doesn't need to be buttery smooth today. Alright, let's see if this works. I think this will work. It's very hacky, but... oh well. It doesn't look any better. 326 is definitely not correct. Yeah, there's no way that's right. Why is that, though? I think I can just look at it and see that it's not right. I mean, I got a 1920 monitor, and it's at least a quarter of the width of my screen. So half of 1920 is 960, half of that is 480. So it should be around 500 or so, a little bit more, I don't know. It's definitely not 326. Now, why that's inaccurate, I have no idea, but it's definitely not accurate. Hey, mate. Good morning. Okay, this calculation is vastly off. It's telling me 326 pixels and should be closer to 500 something. So the fix that we had last time is not a fix. I still have to do it over. It only works on chapters like Psalms where the every verse starts at the left-hand side. And if you have a verse like this, like verse 2, where the beginning is somewhere in the middle, it doesn't calculate the column widths correctly, so I have to think of a different solution, unfortunately. Yay. No, not yay at all, but... I'm just surprised there's no built-in JavaScript way to get this information. I have to do some really crappy hack. And even the hack doesn't work. It's just weird. Why did it not save my conversation? That's weird. Oh. Let's refine our approach to get a more accurate calculation. Here's an alternative way to measure the column width by inspecting the actual rendered columns. I didn't even change anything. Oh, wait. By using break inside a void and visibility hidden. I don't know. I don't think that'll make any difference, but we'll just try it anyway. This will be kind of a short stream because I'm hoping to make it to church today. Maybe another hour or so. I don't know. Okay. 534 sounds right. I don't know why it made any difference. But if it works, it works. 534. Let's measure that to make sure that that's correct. I don't like that. I don't really like GIMP that much, by the way, but I wish it had smart shapes, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Yeah, you have to do a selection, then fill them, which is garbage. So yeah, completely inferior. I wonder if Krita has that stuff. That's one thing I do miss from Windows, is being able to use Affinity products. GIMP is pretty awful, honestly. Smart shapes is like an actual thing. Like, it's hard to explain, but just imagine drawing a rectangle or a circle in something like Illustrator or Inkscape. It's an actual physical object that when you resize it, it maintains its integrity. So if you made it really small and then scaled it up, it would still be a vector graphic that has perfect smooth edging and stuff. Whereas if you were to make well, just as an example here, if I were to make a small shape like this, and then like a new layer and whoops. I don't even know how to do stuff in GIMP, honestly. It's so gross. I don't like it. Select. How do I deselect? Okay, so now we have a shape, right? Which I don't even know how to resize things in GIMP. It's so bad. Ugh. You can move things, but how do you resize them? It's so disgusting. Scale? I don't know how to scale anything. Anyway, if I were to resize this somehow, which I don't even know how to do that, look at that. It's garbage. It has that huge outline around the whole thing, even though it's only filled in the area where the green is. That's terrible garbage. Yeah, GIMP is unusable to me. It's like so unintuitive. It should only have a bounding box around the green area because it's empty. There's no data. There's no pixel data in that area outside. It's just, oh, it's so bad. Anyway, if I don't even know how to scale things, but how do you scale in GIMP? It's so non-intuitive. Like in every other program in the world, you open any graphics program, doesn't matter what it is, it has a pick tool, and that pick tool allows you to move things, resize things, add perspective to things. But in GIMP, it just has this move tool, which is garbage. Like, why have a separate tool just for moving? And the icons are so unintuitive, like I don't even know what any of these things are. Oh, I can't stand it. Shift Alt, that's a good idea. Not Shift, not Control, not Alt, nope. What's this here? Selection, nope, none of that. It's not sensible. Whatever it is, it's not sensible. How do I scale something with handles in GIMP? It'll probably say, oh, you can't do that. Why would you want to do that? Scale something, you can use a scale tool. Okay, so there is a scale tool. Activate the scale tool, Shift S, okay. I don't know where it is on the toolbar though, because nothing looks like a scale tool. It's hidden somewhere. S, okay, that's ugly as heck. Look at those giant boxes on the corners. Yuck. So dated looking. But anyway, the point is, if you have a small object like this, which, oh my goodness, trying to scale something that has that big of a bounding box around it is impossible, by the way. Like, it should only be as big as the object itself. Oh, it's disgusting. It's unusable. It's completely unusable. Yeah, I can't even demonstrate what I was talking about. I think you probably know what I'm saying, though. Like, if you have a small pixelated object and you scale it up, the edge pixels will be aliased and start looking like rounded corners and nasty stuff. It won't retain its actual vector graphic quality. The only way to get around that in GIMP would probably be to make a path. Like, so instead of making a mask selection, you would make a path and then fill that path with color, and then it would probably retain its edge clarity or something. But it's like 20 steps. It's like you're just messing around with this garbage. all these 500 steps, whereas in any other program that has any reputation whatsoever, you just draw a rectangle. You got a rectangle. You can resize that rectangle at any time, and it retains its edge clarity. So yeah, it's, oh man, it's so, I can't stand using GIMP. It's unbearable. I wonder if Crit is any better though. I run a mod of GIMP called Photo GIMP, which changes the look and orientation of everything to look exactly like Photoshop. Yeah, I mean, that would help, but they just, GIMP doesn't have basic functionality that other programs have. So I would like it if it looked better because the UI is completely hideous, but it wouldn't add features, I don't think. Are you sure you're using an SVG or PNG? That doesn't really matter. Let's see. So let's see. I'm just taking a screenshot, so it's just pixel data, and I'm just trying to draw a box over the top of it. But doing that in GIMP is like pulling teeth. It's an absolute nightmare. Let's see. Create from clipboard. See if Crit is any better. I would guess it is. Rectangle tool. It's kind of weird that it has that little circle on the screen. Okay, so I wonder if it's an actual rectangle. It looks like it's not an actual rectangle. It's let's see. So I need to make a new layer. New vector layer. That's cool. Size. I don't know what that means. Do. Let's see. So I got a vector layer here. Can I wonder. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like Krita has like actual shape tools necessarily. I'm not sure, but I think these are actual bitmaps. So it's creating a bitmap that is rendered as a bitmap, so you can't like edit it after it's been drawn. Which is unfortunate. Anyway, doesn't matter. There's other ways to do it. I'm trying to do. I was just thought, well, I'll just open up one of these programs, and it turns out it's really hard and annoying. But I can also just measure something. I just want to see what the width of this purple box is. Essentially, this is a measure tool. It should do the trick. Only problem is it may or may not allow you to move those positions. If you can't move the points after you draw them, like come over here and change them, like no human can accurately place something easily on a position. Like you can get close, but like what if I'm wrong? What if I'm like right here and I want to move that position of that thing to be on the actual corner? Apparently you can't do that, so it's garbage. Bad UI, bad experience. They need me on their team. I could improve their software. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been using graphics software since the 90s, so I have a very keen eye for this stuff. People just don't get it right. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So basically it's just not that easy. Like I can get a general estimate, but I want to be like exact. So basically what I want is an exact measurement of this purple area, like in pixels, which would be super easy to do in most software, but Krita and GIMP especially are horrible. But let me give GIMP a chance for see if it has a measuring tool. Because if it does and it allows you to reposition the endpoints, then it could work. Does GIMP have a measuring tool? Okay. Shift M. Okay, we'll just give it a chance. I guarantee you it's not as good as Affinity Photo though. Absolutely guarantee. And actually even like what's it called? Fireworks, like Macromedia Fireworks from the old days was... Macromedia Fireworks from 2004 is better than GIMP today in many ways. It's really sad. I'm amazed that they haven't like improved GIMP much. After all these years, it's still terrible. Okay, measuring tool, Shift M. Okay, so I'm going to roughly put it in there. Now, can I go in and zoom in and change the position? That's the question. If I can, then I'll give this a passing grade. It looks like I can. Okay. I give this measuring tool in GIMP a passing grade. It's fine. All right. So that tells me it's 534 pixels. That's what I needed to know. That's a lot of work just to get some basic information. Which is what this is. So that is true. That's accurate. So we have a successful JavaScript function that measures the width of a given column. That's good. That's good progress. It's very small progress, but I'll take anything at this point. GIMP, it doesn't entirely suck. It can do a lot of amazing things, but you have to take like 10 times as long because basically it has really bad UI or UX, user experience. You can do stuff, but it sucks. Like the way that you have to do it sucks. It doesn't have live layer filters either, so you can... Oh man, it's bad. You can't just like add drop shadows and glow and different effects to layers like that. It's just, it's painful. You have to like make a mask of something and make a new layer, fill it with a color, and then move it around. Like, oh, there's so many extra steps. And it's not non-destructive either. Non-destructive is absolutely the way to go in modern times. It doesn't have non-destructive editing at all. I think I've heard rumors that the latest version that is going to be released someday, who knows when, because they often go like 10 years between version bumps, but it might have some basic non-destructive editing. And I think maybe you can download a development version or something of that latest version that's eventually going to be released. I don't know. That's just kind of rumors I heard. But it's crazy because that kind of stuff has been in other software for decades. And so they're just way, way behind. Okay, so let's see. 534, so we got a good number now. OBS used to not have an undo button. I know. That was amazing. It was hilarious how long it took them to add the undo feature. It's really nice to have. It was so disastrous. Like if you move something or you just like do something accidental and you delete something, you just can't get it back. Oh man, that was a nightmare. Because I'm so used to it not having it though, I think I am super careful in OBS not to make mistakes because I've used it for so long before it had the undo feature. So it's not very often that I actually have to use it, but still. And speaking of OBS is really bogged down today. If I was going to do a longer stream, I would probably end the stream and restart OBS because it's like you can see how laggy the mouse is and everything is just chop. But I don't want to restart the stream right now, so I'll just leave it like this today. Yeah, OBS does not seem nearly as stable on Linux as Windows. Sometimes it's perfectly fine. Like the last 3 streams, I haven't really had any major issues with stability or frames dropping or whatever. And it's weird, it says it's not dropping frames. Like it actually says 0 drop frames, but I can see on the screen that it's like mega choppy. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I don't think there's a chance I could have accidentally changed the frame rate or something. I don't think so. I don't know why it's so bad. Anyway, I'll look into that next time after the stream, or in a couple days. See if I can see if I changed a setting that made it. I was just wondering if it's just me. Are you? But you're not on Linux, are you? I thought you were on Windows. I think it's just random, though. If my sound did the robotic thing, I would probably just kill it and start over. My OBS says 0.1 dropped frames, but the stream is clearly dropping frames. Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand that. On Windows, if it drops frames, it very clearly tells you that it's dropping frames. So I don't know. And I don't think it's the platforms. I don't think it's the internet either. My internet's really good, and the platforms are... Like, I'm on 14 platforms, so if if it was just DLive or something, I would be able to see it. You're on Windows, that's what I thought. Okay, anyway, let's see. Where was I? Okay, finally. That latest calculation column width is working. So now we need a function to calculate the number of columns. Alright, get the container's computed style, get the container's width, get the column gap. Okay, so this could be the weak point of this. That line that calculates the column gap is this column gap susceptible to the same issue that makes the column width unreliably measurable? Or is it more fixed and the columns are what change or adapt to the window width? You're right to consider this. The column gap can be affected by the same dynamic changes that influence column width. While it might remain more fixed than column widths, it can still vary if defined with relative units like EM or percentages. However, in practice, the column gap tends to be more consistent compared to column widths. It's kind of what I figured, but it's probably not really a hard set rule by browser vendors. They probably can choose how they want to divide up the width. Columns themselves are usually more susceptible to change as window resizes. This means the primary variable adapting the browser width. Alright. So if we... Okay, never mind. He's already doing that. Cool. That should be good enough. As long as we are rounding to the nearest number of columns, I'd guess it will be accurate enough. It looks like you are doing math for what if it is like 8.999 columns. Seems like that should round to 9, not 8. Okay, instead of using math floor, we can use math round. Okay, thank you. All right. All right, let's test this. Console log number of columns. Man, my hands are so cold because it's cold in here that I can't type very fast today. I think I already said that, but I don't remember for sure. I know I mentioned the coldness, but yeah, my hands are freezing. It's weird that actually, when it's cold, you actually slow down. Like, I can't move my fingers as fast as I normally would. Okay. So calculate number of columns. Let's call that within the scroll text. Whoa, what just happened? I'm amazed at how complicated a problem this is just to figure out the left position, the left scroll position of each column in a multi-column layout. It's quite a complicated problem. Should be very simple, but it's not. But I think we're getting close. Theoretically. So, no, that's not right at all. There are clearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns, and it says there are 2. Completely wrong. So let's see if we can figure out why it's so terrible. Okay, get the containers computed style, get the containers width. That all makes sense so far. Get the dynamically computed column gap. Okay. calculate the actual column width using the previously defined function, which is up here, which seems to work. And then calculate the number of columns. So number of columns equals container width plus column gap. I'm not so sure about that logic. Divided by column width plus column gap. That equation right there looks like complete trash to me. I don't think that's accurate. I think it should be just container width on the top, no column gap, and then on the bottom, I don't know. Well, not 100% sure about this equation. Anyway, it's producing a completely wrong answer. In my test, there are 5 columns, and it says there are only 2. Oh, this is ridiculously complicated. It should be a very simple math. Okay, I don't know if they changed anything meaningful here, but let's look at it. The equation's different. It just has container width over column width plus column gap, which makes a little bit more sense to me, but even that is not perfect because you have, say that you have a column here like this, and then you have a small gap between, and then you have a column. Say you have 3 columns represented by this here. You only have 2 column gaps, not 3. But since we don't know the number of columns, we can't say number of columns minus 1 for the column gap quantity, because we're trying to figure out how many columns there are. So it's kind of chicken before the egg thing. But I don't think this equation is accurate because of that factor. There should be minus 1. I wonder if I just did this where I said minus column gap at the end after it's done the division, if that would make sense. I think that makes sense. I'm gonna ask it and see if it's if it agrees. I think there is maybe a flaw in the equation still. There will always be 1 less column gap than the number of columns, since the last column doesn't have a gap. Is my modified equation an accurate way to handle this? Oops, it actually, no, that's not right. Number of columns, not minus column gap, but yeah, it'll probably get the idea. Yeah, so it added, okay, minus 1 at the end, okay. It's better at math than I am. It gets the concept that I was trying to say, but yeah, we'll see if it This kind of math is really hard for me to understand sometimes, like container width plus column gap on the top, and then column width plus column gap on the bottom. I don't know. That stuff kind of fries my brain when I look at it. I just can't comprehend it sometimes. So, but we'll just hope that it knew what I was talking about and fixed it accordingly. So let's just try this out. That is calculate number of columns. I don't think it's going to be right because it's really not that much different than what it was before, but we'll see. Okay, the column width is right. So that's the one thing that's correct. Oh, I didn't, I mean, it got rid of my console log thing. It's completely wrong. No, one column? What? Nope. Equation is garbage. It is telling me there is one column when there are 5. Yeah, I know that song is... I actually don't mind annoying songs just because I like retro gaming music, even the annoying ones. What is your stream resolution? 1080p. But... oh, I don't think this is gonna work, but we'll give it a chance. Look at a platform display of your stream right now, or whenever it looks low resolution. Okay, I'll check it out. Text is unreadable, but not sure if it's just me. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look here just a second. I think OBS is really wigging out right now, so it could be related to that, but let me see. It could just be DLive too. Nope, we're good. We are crystal clear, so it must be something on your end. Yeah. Absolute crystal perfection. Number of frames, though, the frame rate is awful, but I already knew that. I think if I restart my computer or just restart OBS, whatever the memory leak is or junk, it'll get fixed. I looked on DLive, I looked on Kick. They're all good. Let's see. It's possible that they're transcoding my stream, so you might be able to actually change the resolution. I don't normally get prioritized stream encoding or whatever, but maybe they're doing that today. But yeah, when I look at my own stream, it looks fine. But I don't mind when people give me false alarms like that. I'd rather have them give me a false alarm than, you know, find out later that my whole stream was garbage, so it's no big deal. Let's see. Can't remember if I pasted these already, so let me do that again. Looks like I did not. Okay. Now let's see. I think I have about a half hour left before I should probably get going. I don't think I'm going to accomplish much today. Or at least in this stream. There's a chance I might stream later, but it's saying there's 2 columns, and it's very obvious. Like you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Completely wrong. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to see what the container width is here. It's probably my monitor. It's at 2560 by 1440, but the window is just a third of the size. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe you're just having a momentary internet bottleneck or something. I don't know. Who knows? Wait. Yeah, it definitely looks... Oh. Alarm. That's when I was supposed to get up. I couldn't sleep, so I got up earlier, but... Alright. I'm going to console log the container width. See if I can do the math myself or figure out what's going on. Sleeping early-ish, waking up early-ish. Yeah. Noise. I actually kind of like it. If I could get into a pattern like that, I think I would enjoy it, because I like getting up when the morning is fresh, and then you get to experience as much daylight. And like, I'm a massive night owl, so I am pretty much sleeping during the day and up all night kind of a thing, which I enjoy the peace and the quiet of the night. It's kind of a cool vibe, but if I ever want to like go anywhere, like go to a store or go out to eat or just go on a hike or something, that schedule sucks. And it's really hard for me to break out of it. Let's see. Okay, that's not right. The container width is 1120. It's obviously like way more than that. It should be like 3,000 at least. So that is not right. So let me see if I can figure out why that's not right. Computed style equals window, get computed style of the container. Let me make sure I have the right container. I mean, it should be. Container is pane 1. I think that's right. Let me see here. Pane 1. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Oh, the width of it is actually okay, that's the issue. I think I know what. Yeah, we'll fix this here, I think. I mean, I'm not going to solve the problem overall. Okay. For the client width, Goofus, I'm going to call the AI Goofus. It should be the scroll width. I have columns that are hidden underneath the scroll. I need the scroll width. That's why the calculation sucks. Night belongs to the night owl and the night owl alone. Yeah, I like the nights. Like, it's kind of my vibe and stuff, but I don't know. I don't think it's really that healthy mentally, because you miss out on a lot of social interactions and daylight. Like, you know, you got to get your vitamin D, and I love hiking, and so if I'm staying up all night and sleeping all day, I can't do that as much. And so if I could rewire myself to be an early riser, I probably would like that, but I've tried everything. I can't. Even if I set alarms, you know, all that stuff, I can't reset it. You know, as soon as I get it reset the next day, I just immediately gravitate towards being up at nights. I don't really know why. Okay, so container, scroll width. Okay, this should work. Okay, we're hoping for a number 6 here. Six columns, woo! Okay, we're getting somewhere. All right. Okay, so now that we have that working, we can calculate column positions based on those numbers now instead of this. Whoops. Okay, great. That made all the difference. Now I need to calculate the left pixel position of each column. Here's my current function. I'll have to scrap the whole thing. Now that we know the column widths and the gap, it should be possible to get accurate left positions. Thanks for the follow. Alright, let's just try it. I think it's... My guess is it's not going to be accurate. I think it's going to be kind of close, but not perfect. So, we've already kind of gone through this scenario before, and there's just a few pixels off, but maybe it'll be close enough. As long as it's within like 2 to 5 pixels, I don't think it'll cut off any text on either side, but it's got to be pretty close. And I think I have some ideas on how to make it more accurate if it's not quite good enough. Kicking the stream looks good. Resolution, yeah, on DLive it looks good for me too. Make sure you're viewing on source, you know. Ugh, sorry, excuse me. Oh, but DLive said I was on source. Oh, weird. I don't know. It's strange. You never know with DLive what they're doing. Yeah, maybe just like it was cutting in and out or something, and when I looked it was fine, but when you were looking it wasn't. I have no idea. No clue. Might be getting close here, but I'm not going to finish this like before I have to go. But at least I'll hopefully be closer. Oh, I should save the backup of this. What? Progress is always good. Yeah, it's so annoying because I thought I had this fixed last stream. It was like an aha moment, a moment of great victory and joy, and now I'm realizing it's not fixed. So I'm basically kind of backtracking, but we'll get it eventually. I'm just kind of amazed at how complicated this very simple task is. It should be very easy, but it's not. Multi-column layouts aren't very popular. Like, I don't see them happening online that much these days, other than like using that's a big disclaimer. Like, multi-column layouts are very popular, but what I mean is most people use like Flexbox or grid layout kind of things. But what I'm doing is one container that has flowing text that's split up into columns, which the only way to do that is using CSS columns, and I don't see a lot of people doing that. So it's kind of a edge case that, I don't know. I feel like I really like CSS columns the way they work, but I don't really think most people use them that much. So they don't get a lot of love from W3C or whatever to enhance their functionality. I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped that out of the spec at some point. I mean, I'd be sad because I like them, but I don't think a lot of people use them. 6 columns. Let's see. 586. Alright, those look reasonable. Now, how do I test this, though? Add resize event listener. Okay, I'm gonna just give it all the stuff and just have it rewrite this function because it's obsolete. Here's my current set of functions. We need to update scroll text to work with our new column positions. The 3 variables at the top can maybe disappear, not sure, and the scroll text function needs to be rewritten to work with our calculated left positions of each column. My keyboard has been squeaking lately. Like, it's kind of old and I like it, but I don't know, if you're really good with mechanics and electronics and stuff, I think you can kind of maintain keyboards by just opening them up and cleaning them and maybe sanding off the edges of the little caps so they don't have friction on the sides. And I don't know, I wish I knew that stuff because I think it would be an easy fix, but it's really annoying. Like the shift key on the left side gets stuck underneath the other key or something weird, and I don't know, some of the other keys are kind of messed up. Springs need lube, yeah. I haven't really ever messed around with that stuff. I could watch a video on it or something and try it, but I have another keyboard I could replace it with, but I kind of like to keep things going as long as possible, not just throw them away, you know? Okay, let's update the scroll text function with the new calculate left positions of each column while also removing the necessary variables and ensure the function performs. Alright. I don't need that DOM content loaded thing, I don't think. I'll use all the other stuff. Okay, so it's leaving one variable out there. I'll just trust that it has a reason for that at this point. I don't think it was really necessary, but so I think this function here you could just put it in there, I think, but it doesn't matter. I'll just leave it. So let's replace all this junk. Save another backup. Okay, for some reason it's getting hung up right here. Like the first column, it snapped perfectly. I'm gonna do a hard refresh just in case the JavaScript file isn't bringing in fully. So the first time it goes perfectly. And then it doesn't do anything after that. That's weird. 0586. Oh, well, that's weird. There's like these two. Oh. No, never mind. Yeah, it should work. After column 2 of 6, it just seems to get stuck and not keep moving to the right. Did you leave a little buffer so that if the previous column movement is 2 or 5 pixels from position, it will consider it to be in that column slot? And then when the button is pressed again, it will jump to the next, even though it's not perfectly aligned with the present column. Got it. Let's add a buffer to account for slight misalignment and ensure smooth movement. No. I don't want smooth movement. I want scroll behavior instant. So amazing. AI understands these long freeform sentences. I know. It's crazy. This is stuff I would have never even imagined when I was your age. Or just when I was younger in general. I just thought that this would be like a sci-fi movie. There's no way I would believe this is actually a thing. I saw a window into the future. It's come into existence so quickly. It's crazy. Just within like 5 years, it's gone from almost nothing to practically being able to do everything. Kind of scary. I like using it for this because I really hate coding. So it's helping me to still be able to do something that I generally don't like doing anymore. But for other things, I feel like it's kind of creepy or invasive, or it's kind of like an insult to humanity. Like, especially in the areas of art, I have a really hard time not feeling guilty if I use it to create an image, because it's like replacing creativity and humanity, and I don't like that. But anyway, it's like coding in plain language. Yeah. Okay, initial calculation of column positions. Okay, so let's just copy all this stuff. Yeah, I have a massive advantage because I've been programming for many years, so I don't know if like a person off the street that has no computer knowledge would be able to use AI to write a program effectively, because they might not be able to troubleshoot when things go wrong like I'm doing. But probably in a couple of years, as it keeps improving, you could literally just ask a person off the street, like your grandma or somebody, just say, "Hey grandma, hey, want to write a program?" and just tell her to talk to the AI, and it could probably figure it out. Can't imagine. But I'm guessing it'll get there. Not definitely in our lifetime. Probably within like 5 years, it'll be like so good that I'm kind of afraid that people in this field are going to get replaced, to be honest. I have a couple really good friends that are programmers, and I'm a little bit concerned for that. And in a way, I'm kind of glad I got out of it, because since I'm not a very good developer, I would be one of the first to get kicked out. I think if you're really talented, there's always going to be a place for smart programmers, but I was never really that good at it, so I got by somehow in my career when I was doing it, but I think I would be cut from the team. Okay, looks like we got it. Now let's test on a variety of chapters. Also, let's test what happens if I resize the browser a bit here. It's working. I think we got it again. And this time it's working even though there's verses like this verse 52 where the verse starts, you know, a third of the way across. So we fixed it, so now it works for every chapter, theoretically. Let's check the longest chapter in the Bible just to make sure. It's not perfect. If you look really close, you can see that this number 55 is being cut off like a couple pixels on the left, so I can probably refine it a little bit.
Where do you want to go?
But it's pretty stinking close. I'm gonna like keep working on it till it's 100% perfect, because I don't want it to cut stuff off visually like that, but it's really within tolerance of being usable. But I think I have an idea on how to achieve that too. No comment. I think some programmers need to be humbled and realize it's not just some extraordinary skill they have, it's just knowing the knowledge of the terms and orders of operations. Yeah, I don't know. I want to see humans thrive. I don't want to see humans get replaced by robotic entities. So honestly, I would prefer some half-rate, not very good programmer to still have a job than get forced out of the industry and feel terrible about themselves just because, you know, computers can do all the work for them. I'm actually kind of sad what's going to happen inevitably in the next 5 or 10 years, where the majority of programmers aren't going to be able to hold a job because their boss, you know, is going to say, you know what, we're going to replace you with this computer program. And that's a sad day for humanity. Sucks, but I don't know what to do about it. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty stinking good. I can tell that it's a couple pixels off, but it's acceptable. The other thing I could probably do to fix that, to make it even easier on myself, is add a little bit of padding in the column, like 5 pixels of padding inside the column. I think that would pretty much do it. They think they're God's gifts. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, definitely there are some developers who are kind of arrogant and stuff, but even just because somebody's arrogant doesn't mean I want their life to be ruined, you know? I mean, I don't want them to get replaced by a robot. Hey, Hendrik. Don't perfect it. Okay, but I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure if I add just a little bit of padding in here, let me see. I think if I add it to, yeah, chapter text, if I add padding 0.5px, that'll totally fix it. So then I just come over here to my CSS, find the chapter. Good to see you, Hendrik. I think a lot of people are wondering where you went off to. You just kind of disappeared, so I feel honored that you chose my channel to come back to. Maybe you've been on Gives a Minute recently. I'm not always on his every stream, but yeah, it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So we're just going to add padding 0.5 pix, and that should fix everything. Cheers, man. Cheers, man. Alright, so I'm pretty sure this is going to fix it. 5 pixels should be plenty. I could probably do like 3 pixels and it would be enough. Oh, and let me get rid of that purple thing I added in there just a second ago. Don't need that anymore. That was just for troubleshooting purposes. Oh, I'm going to be ending my stream in a few minutes here. I think I fixed this, which is, I'm actually quite surprised that I was able to get this fixed. Oh, well, of course, when I started streaming, I didn't even know this was an issue. This is an issue I discovered, like, in the process of streaming. So I thought I was actually going to be further than this because I thought I could move on to the next problem, but now I'm stuck with the same problem, but we just fixed it with that 5 pixels of padding. It doesn't cut off the numbers on the left, so we are solid. Woohoo! So while I'm redoing something that I thought was already fixed, it's satisfying to, I think it's fixed once for all now. Like it's actually, I don't have to worry about this particular issue anymore. So we can finally move on to the next step. So that's good. Anyway, good to see you guys. I need to get going. I'm going to try to get to church this morning. So I will see you all. Hope you guys have a good Sunday and a good next week and all that stuff. I will see you all next time. Hopefully the next time I stream, my OBS won't be wigging out. It's like massively low frame rate right now, but all right, we'll catch you guys later. Oh, by the way, I just made that's me in that image there. I made that using a free online AI thing. I just fed it, gave it my face and told it to make a guy with huge hair like typing on a keyboard. Kind of funny, but anyway, I will see you later. See you, Maid. See you, Hendrik. Yeah, no, I get it, Hendrik. I hope you guys can talk it out, though, because you're both good dudes, and I know you disagree on stuff, but I don't even talk about politics. It's not worth it to me, but I get it. Some people are more passionate than others. See you later. God bless.